My beloved child, this message carries a powerful lesson about relationships, growth, and the kind of connection that can stand the test of time. Imagine for a moment that your soulmate has reached a place of complete honesty within their heart. They have reflected on the journey, the memories, the conversations, and everything that has brought them to this moment. After all that reflection, one truth becomes clear. They want a connection that lasts. They want something real. They want something built on trust, understanding, and mutual respect. But my beloved child, there is one condition. And it may not be what you expect. Stay with me, my beloved child, because this message is not about control, demands, or impossible expectations. The condition is growth. Your soulmate does not want a connection that remains stuck in old patterns. They do not want a relationship built on fear, misunderstandings, or endless uncertainty. They want a connection where both people continue learning, improving, and becoming the best versions of themselves. Because true love is not just about finding the right person. It is also about becoming the right person. My beloved child, many people dream of a forever connection, but they forget that lasting relationships require more than strong feelings. They require communication. They require patience. They require honesty. They require the willingness to work through challenges together. These qualities are what transform a connection from something temporary into something meaningful and enduring. Stay with me, my beloved child, because this is where the message becomes important. Imagine your soulmate looking into the future. They are not searching for perfection. They know that no person is perfect. They know that every individual has strengths and weaknesses. What they truly desire is someone who is willing to grow. Someone who can learn from mistakes. Someone who can communicate openly. Someone who can face challenges without immediately giving up. Because growth creates strength. And strength helps relationships survive difficult seasons. My beloved child, there may have been times when fear created distance. Times when misunderstandings created confusion. Times when uncertainty made the path unclear. But every challenge carries a lesson. Every experience teaches something valuable. And every lesson creates an opportunity for growth. That is why the condition is not perfection. It is willingness. A willingness to learn. A willingness to listen. A willingness to improve. A willingness to keep moving forward together. Stay until the end, my beloved child, because there is another truth hidden within this message. A lasting connection is not built in a single day. It is built through consistent choices. Small acts of kindness. Honest conversations. Mutual respect. Shared growth. And when those things are present, trust begins to deepen. Understanding begins to grow. And the foundation becomes stronger with time. My beloved child, perhaps the most beautiful part of this message is this. The condition applies to both people. Growth is not a one-sided responsibility. It is a shared journey. A healthy relationship grows because both individuals are willing to learn, adapt, and support each other. Neither person needs to be perfect. Both people simply need to be committed to becoming better than they were yesterday. As you reflect on this message, remember that meaningful connections are not sustained by feelings alone. They are sustained by choices. Choices to communicate. Choices to forgive. Choices to understand. Choices to grow. And those choices, repeated over time, create something powerful. My beloved child, if there is one lesson to carry from this message, let it be this. The strongest relationships are not the ones without challenges. They are the ones where both people face challenges with patience, honesty, and a willingness to grow. That is the condition. Not perfection. Not impossibility. Simply growth. And when growth becomes part of the journey, a connection has the opportunity to become something truly lasting, meaningful, and beautiful. My beloved child, after realizing that growth is the condition, your soulmate begins to understand something even deeper. A lasting connection is not built by two people who never make mistakes. It is built by two people who are willing to learn from them. This realization changes the way they see everything. The challenges that once seemed like obstacles now appear as opportunities for understanding. The misunderstandings that once created distance now reveal lessons about communication. The difficult moments that once felt discouraging now show areas where growth was needed. And suddenly, the journey makes more sense than it ever did before. Stay with me, my beloved child, because this message carries an important truth. Your soulmate has spent time reflecting on what truly matters in a forever connection. They have thought about what creates trust. What creates stability? What creates a sense of safety and belonging? And the answer keeps leading them back to the same thing. Consistency. Not grand promises. Not dramatic declarations. But consistent actions. Because actions reveal commitment in ways that words alone cannot. My beloved child, imagine a garden. A beautiful garden does not flourish because someone waters it once. It grows because it is cared for consistently. Day after day. Season after season. In the same way, meaningful relationships grow through regular care, attention, and effort. Small acts often matter more than dramatic gestures. A kind word. A thoughtful action. A willingness to listen. A willingness to understand. These simple things build trust over time. And trust is one of the strongest foundations any relationship can have. Stay with me, my beloved child, because there is more to this lesson. Your soulmate is beginning to realize that forever is not something that simply happens. Forever is something that is built. Built through patience during difficult seasons. Built through understanding during moments of disagreement. Built through encouragement during times of uncertainty. Built through mutual respect every single day. And while this may sound simple, it is one of the most valuable truths they have discovered. My beloved child, many people focus only on finding the right person. But your soulmate now understands that keeping a meaningful connection strong requires something more. It requires intentionality. The choice to show up. The choice to communicate honestly. The choice to continue growing together instead of growing apart. These choices create a relationship that can withstand challenges and become stronger through them. As your soulmate reflects on all of this, they feel a growing sense of clarity. They are no longer focused on unrealistic expectations. They are no longer searching for perfection. Instead, they are looking for partnership. A connection where both people support each other's growth. A connection where both people encourage each other during difficult moments. A connection where both people remain committed to learning and improving together. Stay until the end, my beloved child, because there is one more important insight. Growth is not always comfortable. Sometimes it requires difficult conversations. Sometimes it requires patience. Sometimes it requires letting go of old habits that no longer serve the relationship. But growth always creates the possibility for something better. Something stronger. Something more meaningful. And that is why your soulmate continues returning to the same condition. Not perfection. Not flawlessness. Not impossible standards. Simply the willingness to grow together. Because when two people are committed to learning, understanding, and becoming better versions of themselves, they create something powerful. They create a connection that is built on more than emotions. They create a foundation strong enough to weather life's storms. And my beloved child, as your soulmate continues reflecting on what forever truly means, another realization is beginning to take shape within their heart. A realization that may reveal the most important secret of all about what makes a relationship truly last. My beloved child, as your soulmate continues this journey of reflection, a deeper understanding begins to unfold within their heart. They have already realized that growth matters. They have already realized that consistency matters. They have already realized that trust is built over time. But now they are discovering something even more important. The strongest relationships are not built when everything is easy. They are built during the moments when both people choose each other despite the challenges. Stay with me, my beloved child, because this truth has the power to change everything. Your soulmate begins thinking about the relationships they have seen throughout life. Some connections faded when difficulties appeared. Some ended because communication disappeared. Some struggled because pride became more important than understanding. And as they reflected on these examples, they noticed a pattern. The relationships that lasted were not perfect. They simply contained two people who were willing to work together. Two people who chose understanding over assumptions. Two people who chose patience over frustration. Two people who chose growth over stagnation. And suddenly, the meaning of forever became much clearer. My beloved child, forever is not a promise that there will never be challenges. Forever is a commitment to face those challenges together. It is the decision to keep communicating when misunderstandings arise. It is the decision to keep listening when emotions become complicated. It is the decision to keep supporting each other during difficult seasons. Because real connection grows stronger when it is nurtured through both good times and hard times. Your soulmate is beginning to understand this more deeply than ever before. And the more they understand it, the more certain they become about what they truly desire. They do not want something temporary. They do not want something based only on excitement. They do not want something that disappears the moment life becomes difficult. They want something real. Something stable. Something that continues growing year after year. Stay with me, my beloved child, because another important realization is emerging. Your soulmate now sees that one of the greatest gifts two people can give each other is acceptance. Not acceptance of harmful behavior. Not acceptance of disrespect. But acceptance of human imperfection. The understanding that everyone is still learning. Everyone is still growing. Everyone is still discovering better ways to communicate, love, and support others. This understanding creates compassion. And compassion creates a safe space where a relationship can flourish. My beloved child, when people feel accepted, they become more willing to be honest. When they feel understood, they become more willing to open their hearts. When they feel supported, they become more willing to grow. And these qualities create a bond that becomes stronger over time. That is why your soulmate keeps returning to the same conclusion. A forever connection is not built on perfection. It is built on mutual effort, mutual respect, mutual growth, and mutual commitment. As these thoughts settle into their heart, they begin feeling hopeful. Not because they expect life to be without challenges, but because they now understand that challenges do not have to destroy a meaningful connection. When handled with patience and wisdom, challenges can actually strengthen it. Stay until the end, my beloved child, because your soulmate is approaching the most important realization yet. A realization that goes beyond growth, beyond communication, beyond consistency. A realization that reveals the true foundation of a lasting relationship. And when they finally understand this truth, everything they have learned so far will come together in a way they never expected. Because the secret to forever is not found in grand promises. It is found in something much deeper, something far more powerful, and something that has the ability to transform a connection into a lasting and meaningful partnership. My beloved child, as your soulmate continues reflecting on what truly creates a forever kind of love, the pieces are finally beginning to come together. They have learned that growth matters. They have learned that trust matters. They have learned that communication matters. But now they are discovering the foundation that holds all of those things together. And that foundation is commitment. Not the kind of commitment that exists only when life is easy. Not the kind of commitment that disappears when challenges arise. But the kind of commitment that chooses to stay present, keep learning, and keep building, even during difficult seasons. Stay with me, my beloved child, because this realization is changing everything for them. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that feelings can rise and fall. Circumstances can change. Life can become unpredictable. Yet commitment remains a choice. A daily choice. A conscious decision to continue investing in something meaningful. And when two people make that choice together, their connection becomes stronger than temporary emotions or passing difficulties. My beloved child, many people spend their lives searching for certainty. They want guarantees. They want promises that nothing will ever go wrong. But your soulmate has learned that true security does not come from guarantees. It comes from knowing that both people are willing to face uncertainty together. That they are willing to communicate. Willing to listen. Willing to support one another through changing seasons. This understanding has brought them a new sense of peace. Because they no longer feel pressure to find perfection. Instead, they are focused on building something real. Something honest. Something lasting. Stay with me, my beloved child, because there is another truth they are beginning to see. The strongest relationships are often built through small moments rather than dramatic ones. A thoughtful conversation. A word of encouragement. A moment of patience during a difficult day. A willingness to understand instead of judge. These moments may seem small, but over time they create something powerful. They create trust. They create emotional safety. They create a sense of partnership that grows deeper with each passing day. Your soulmate now realizes that forever is not created in one grand moment. It is created through thousands of small choices made consistently over time. And that realization has changed the way they view love. My beloved child, they also understand something else now. A meaningful relationship does not ask two people to lose themselves. Instead, it encourages both people to become the best versions of themselves. It supports growth. It celebrates progress. It creates space for learning and improvement. And because of that, both individuals become stronger together than they would be alone. That is the kind of connection your soulmate hopes for. Not one based on control. Not one based on unrealistic expectations. But one based on mutual respect, encouragement, and shared growth. Stay until the end, my beloved child, because they are standing on the edge of their greatest realization yet. They are beginning to understand that the true secret of a lasting relationship is not simply finding someone who makes them happy. It is finding someone who inspires them to grow while offering support, understanding, and kindness along the way. And as this understanding settles into their heart, they feel something they have not felt in a long time. Clarity. The kind of clarity that removes confusion. The kind of clarity that reveals what truly matters. The kind of clarity that prepares them for the next chapter. Because soon, my beloved child, they will discover the final piece of the puzzle. The one condition that makes forever possible. The one quality that gives strength to trust, growth, communication, and commitment. And when that truth is finally revealed, it will bring everything together in a way that feels both simple and extraordinary. My beloved child, your soulmate has come a long way in this journey of understanding. They have reflected on trust, communication, growth, consistency, and commitment. Each lesson has revealed an important piece of what makes a relationship last. But now they are approaching the heart of the message. The truth they have been searching for all along. And as they sit quietly with their thoughts, one realization becomes impossible to ignore. The one condition is not perfection. It is not wealth. It is not status. It is not having all the answers. The one condition is honesty. Stay with me, my beloved child, because this truth is more powerful than it first appears. Your soulmate has realized that without honesty, trust begins to weaken. Without honesty, misunderstandings grow. Without honesty, fears and assumptions can take the place of understanding. But when honesty is present, even difficult conversations become opportunities for growth. Even challenges become easier to navigate. Even uncertainty becomes less frightening. Because honesty creates clarity. And clarity creates peace. My beloved child, your soulmate no longer wants a connection built on guessing games. They no longer want a relationship where feelings remain hidden and important conversations are avoided. They want openness. They want sincerity. They want two people who can share their thoughts, dreams, concerns, and hopes without fear of being judged. Because true intimacy begins where honesty lives. The more they reflect on this, the more they understand why some relationships struggled in the past. It was not always because there was a lack of care. Sometimes there was simply a lack of communication. A lack of transparency. A lack of willingness to speak openly about what truly mattered. And those missing pieces created distance where closeness could have existed. My beloved child, honesty is not always easy. Sometimes it requires vulnerability. Sometimes it requires courage. Sometimes it requires admitting mistakes or expressing feelings that are difficult to share. But honesty is also one of the greatest gifts two people can offer each other. Because it allows a relationship to be built on reality instead of assumptions. And reality is always stronger than illusion. Stay with me, my beloved child, because another beautiful realization is taking shape within your soulmate's heart. They understand now that honesty is not about being harsh. It is not about criticizing or judging. It is about creating a space where truth can be spoken with kindness. Where concerns can be shared with respect. Where feelings can be expressed without fear. This kind of honesty strengthens relationships rather than harming them. It deepens understanding. It builds trust. And it helps two people grow closer over time. As your soulmate embraces this understanding, they begin feeling more hopeful than ever before. Because they finally know what they are looking for. Not perfection. Not fantasy. Not impossible expectations. Just something genuine. Something honest. Something built on mutual respect and a willingness to grow together. And my beloved child, as they continue reflecting on everything they have learned, they realize that honesty is not the end of the journey. It is the doorway to something even greater. A connection where trust can flourish. A connection where understanding can deepen. A connection where both people feel seen, heard, and valued. And soon, very soon, they will discover how all these lessons come together to create the kind of love that truly stands the test of time. My beloved child, we have finally reached the end of this message, and now the truth your soulmate has been discovering becomes clear. After all the reflection, all the lessons, and all the realizations, they understand something beautiful. A forever kind of love is not built by perfect people. It is built by two people who choose each other again and again. Two people who communicate honestly. Two people who grow together. Two people who support each other through life's changing seasons. And most importantly, two people who never stop valuing the connection they have created. My beloved child, your soulmate now sees that the one condition was never meant to be a barrier. It was meant to be a foundation. A foundation of honesty, trust, growth, and mutual respect. Because when these qualities are present, a relationship has the strength to withstand challenges and become even stronger over time. They no longer dream of a flawless relationship. Instead, they dream of a real one. A connection where both people can be themselves. A connection where mistakes become lessons. A connection where difficult moments lead to deeper understanding rather than greater distance. And that realization has brought peace to their heart. Stay with me, my beloved child, because this ending carries a message of hope. The future is not about fear. It is not about wondering whether everything will be perfect. It is about believing that meaningful relationships are built one day at a time. One conversation at a time. One act of kindness at a time. One choice to understand rather than judge at a time. These small moments create something extraordinary. They create trust. They create security. They create a bond that grows stronger with every passing season. My beloved child, your soulmate now understands that forever is not a destination. It is a journey. A journey where two people continue learning about each other. Continue encouraging each other. Continue choosing love, patience, and understanding every step of the way. And because of this understanding, they are no longer focused on what could go wrong. They are focused on what can be built. A future filled with honesty. A future filled with respect. A future filled with shared dreams and meaningful memories. As this message comes to a close, remember this. The strongest relationships are not the ones without challenges. They are the ones where both people face challenges together. The most beautiful love stories are not written by perfection. They are written by commitment, growth, and genuine care. And the most lasting connections are created when two hearts decide that understanding is more important than pride, and growth is more important than fear. My beloved child, let your heart rest in this truth. The journey has taught valuable lessons. The foundation has been built. The understanding has grown. And the future holds the possibility of a connection that becomes stronger, wiser, and more meaningful with time. So move forward with hope. Move forward with confidence. Move forward believing that the best relationships are built not by chance, but by two people willing to grow together. And that, my beloved child, is the beautiful ending to this message. Love lasts not because everything is perfect, but because two people continue choosing each other, day after day, with honesty, kindness, faith, and an open heart. And from that choice, a beautiful forever begins.